So yeah, that was actually like that was really amazing. And our next speaker is literally a day one. Day one all the way back from Oxford, back in Oxford. We've had countless arguments about Ghana and Nigeria and and who cooks the best. So yeah, Oluwasimibo Oyekola was born in Nigeria to a Ghanaian father and Nigerian mother. She is currently a junior at Emory University, majored in mathematics, and is very passionate about women and children's rights. Simi says, people always have opinions about who you should be and what you should do, but standing up for yourself is the only way to preserve your originality. This will be the main focus of her talk. And yeah, can we give a round of applause for Simi?
I'm going to be talking without the mic today, so I have one hand free. Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time just to come to this amazing event to support us and just to open your minds to new ideas. I'm honored to be giving this talk. It was one of my goals at the beginning of the year to give a TED Talk. I love TED Talks so much, I listen to them all the time, it's like my hobby. And I actually attended one in Nigeria this summer. As Kwame said, I am Nigerian and Ghanaian. Now the question, Nigerian or Ghanaian jollof?
Nigerian.
Please don't ask me to pick one because I think that they're both great. When I was given the theme for today, I was bubbling with ideas, but I decided to pick the ones that have shaped me the most. Being a woman in Nigeria can be a little bit difficult because a lot of people expect us to conduct ourselves in certain ways. They expect us to be reserved, very submissive and docile. We are not expected to have high aspirations. I am very outspoken and I can be a little sassy. When I was in boarding school, my female teachers would tell me, "You should act like a lady. Don't you want to be the first lady one day?" And I would respond, "Absolutely not. I want to be the president." I am very sure that that was not the response that they were looking for. On the flip side, I also had to deal with a lot of men and their entitlement complexes. They would come up to me and talk to me and expect me to continue the conversation, but I usually shut them down in the first 10 seconds. Some would tell me, "Your blood is too hot." Others would tell me, "How will you ever find a husband?" I realized early on that you need to reset a lot of societal norms. Because if you confine yourself to the small bubble given to you, there's no way that you enjoy a happy life. I think Ctrl+Alt+Delete should be my new motto because I practically already live by it. When I was younger, I was fat. I know that's hard to believe. Some people would use the word pleasantly plump or chubby, but I was an overweight child with a lovely round belly and an amazing and vibrant personality. Now, as a lot of us are aware, fat shaming is a part of many cultures, and women especially are expected to be small and take up as little space as possible. Whenever I went out and about, people would call me Orobo, which is a common Nigerian slang meaning fat, or fatty bombo. Nigerians have the worst names. But the thing I remember the most is that these words never affected me. I never saw myself as fat or overweight. In fact, every time I looked in the mirror, I thought it was the best thing to ever walk across the face of the earth. Every time someone called me a name, I would look at them with a smile and respond, "I am just the right size," something that my mother taught me to say. I had such thick skin because I never went home sad or upset when people made fun of my weight. These experiences were a critical part of my learning not to adhere to social norms or expectations. I realized that as long as I was happy with myself, there was no reason for me to want to please other people. Respect for adults is deeply entrenched in the Nigerian culture. It is assumed that children cannot talk back or defend themselves when they are offended by adults. While I'm not disputing the fact that respect is important, I disagree with instances where adults don't give out respect and want it back. I remember one instance in particular. I was in the airport and a lady walked up to me and called me fat. Now this day I was a bit irritated because they had delayed our flight. And I said to her, You have spaghetti hands. She told me that I was a disrespectful child because I had challenged her expectation of what respect is supposed to be. After this incident, I walked away. But in my mind, I was determined to stand up for myself no matter who came up against me. My last example is very dear to my heart and fuels a lot of my passions. I'm very intelligent and ambitious, and I have always been a high achiever. But in society, male intelligence is usually valued over female intelligence, and sometimes female intelligence is seen as a threat. I remember going into a new primary school and meeting the smartest boy in my class. He told me, "You'll never get first position." He made a wrong move, because from that moment, I made it my mission to be at the top. So from then, until 8 academic terms later, I was the first overall in my year. Not my class, my year. On our graduation day, I was so elated because I knew I had won the award for the best graduating student. But things did not pan out as I had hoped. To put it lightly, the host was a little sexist. He started calling out best in different subjects, and although the prize alternated between the boy and I, he would shout the boy with praises, and not me. Now the women in the audience noticed this and started giving me standing ovations. Women are the best. Toward the end, we were tied at 5 prizes each, and it was time to announce the award for the best graduating student. But the MC ended the program without announcing it. I had reset the status quo. I was very upset to say the least, but from that moment, I knew I wanted to fight for women and our gifts. Because there's an African proverb that says, if you educate a man, you educate one individual. But if you educate a woman, you educate an entire village. These experiences have given me the courage to continue to go against society's norms. For instance, being a woman and a math major is not easy because people still see math as a masculine subject. I have learned that standing up for myself makes people respect me a lot more because a lot of people are afraid to be themselves. There are still some times I want to go with the current and be comfortable. But being uncomfortable is a good thing. The times I've been the most uncomfortable are the times that I have achieved a lot more than I expected. I realize that with opposition comes growth, and with challenges comes increase. Now enough about me. I'm going to leave you with a few tips to help you challenge your norms and society's norms in your everyday life. First, realize that everyone has opinions, and you cannot live your life to please other people. There was a time in the early 1900s where being fat was praised, and the Calabar tribe in Nigeria still puts women in fat rooms before their weddings to ensure that they're robust for their marriages. Be confident and courageous. There is only one you in the world, so do not become a copy, because copies are not remembered. Learn to love yourself and the unique gifts that you've been given. Challenge your thoughts and your norms often, because it causes you to grow and it makes you a better version of yourself. I always remember Romans 12:2, which says, "Do not conform to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so you'll be able to prove what is the good and acceptable and perfect will of God." Have a strong support system, whether it be family or friends, who push you to break down boundaries. People who see a better version of you before you see it for yourself. And I just want to thank God for blessing me with an amazing family, because without them I would not be here today. And also my amazing friends who came out to support me today and the ones that were not able to make it. Finally, believe in yourself and understand that you have a purpose and a gift. To share these, you will need to reset the status quo in order to leave the world just a little better than you met it. Thank you.
So wow, that was absolutely amazing. So if you saw Spaghetti Hands woman today, what would you say to her?
I would thank her. I would thank her for just making me confident and making me understand that it doesn't matter what other people think about me. And because God has given each of us a gift, and the things people will try to pull you down, but in order to share that gift with the world, you need to just be yourself. So if I was skinny, I wouldn't have that same opportunity as I do today.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I had another question for you. I was gonna ask. So, in Africa currently, there's so many issues in the diaspora that women's empowerment is often pushed aside, and it's like there's so many things wrong that people often forget that that's also like a very pertinent issue. So, what do you think, as young people in the diaspora, young people of like African descent, what do you think young people could do, a young woman could do to really try to change that culture? Because there's a lot of change happening. But it's, what could young people do to really fasten the pace of that change?
Okay. I think that it's important to get men on board as well, because it seems like a women's issue, but the thing is that everybody issue, because when you don't let people be themselves and when you don't let women be themselves, you're depriving society of a lot of gifts and things that could be used. Like in government now, there are lots of men in government. A lot of the countries are not moving forward. Great idea. Let's change the people in government. And the thing is that a lot of times it seems like, women are too emotional. But the thing is, in the world we live in today, we need emotion because there's a lot of violence and a lot of things happening. So as young people, we need to stand up and say, you know what? We've been doing things since the beginning of time. We've been doing things and women have been subjugated. But then if we're able to bring everybody up to the same level, then we can move the world a lot faster than it is going now. Because then people are able, women are going to be able to join the workforce, join the army, and it's not like there's going to be a, decrease of people, but then there are going to be more people who are willing and who are able and loyal to the cause that they're fighting for.
All right, thank you. That was honestly amazing, and you inspire all of us. So thank you so much for that. So our next speaker, we also go way back. I honestly go way back with all these speakers. I'm just kidding. Our next speaker is a senior at Emory University studying religion and philosophy. He aims to be a